Now, it is very important that you realize that the International Space Station is a hoax. Yes, there may be something flying above your head, but it is not a space station in outer space. If you didn't see my last video, here are some of the things I found wrong with the so-called live footage. The first thing many people notice in NASA's recordings from outer space is there are never any stars. Now, when you ask the question, where are the stars? The nearest heliocentrist will tell you that the sun is so bright that when you're in outer space you can't see any stars. Where are the satellites? Apparently we have thousands and thousands of satellites orbiting our Earth. Yet as the ISS goes around and around the Earth, we don't see not a single one. I find it strange you can watch the entire 4 hours of footage and we don't bump into one satellite for us to look at? We don't ever get to see one, ever? And you don't see any space debris either. There should be some rocks and some space crap floating around up there, and you don't see any debris. No satellites, no debris, no stars, no nothing. Space is pretty boring, it looks like. And here's something else you don't see. You don't see any airplanes. Out of the thousands and thousands of flights taking place every day, you don't see not one single airplane reflecting some sunlight back at the ISS. Sure, the airplanes are going to be small, but they should be down there reflecting some sunlight, right? That right there is Baja, Mexico. There's a bunch of tourist locations all over Mexico. We should see flights heading back and forth to all the tourist locations there in Mexico. Are you telling me that you can see an airplane from the ground, you can see the ISS from the ground, but when you're on the ISS, you can't see any planes looking down? Now, one thing I notice about these clouds, they don't change, they don't morph, and they don't move. When I'm standing on the ground, I can look up and watch the clouds change, morph, and move. But when you're on the ISS and you look down at the clouds, they don't change, they don't morph, and they don't move. Now, many people were claiming that their country or their entire continent was covered up by clouds in the footage. Now, anyone who went outside that day and saw clear blue sky, a nice sunny day, and then went and looked at the footage and saw that their entire country or their entire continent was covered by clouds, well, that person would know that this footage is a fraud. Many people noticed that this panel had curvature, which closely resembled the curvature of the Earth below. Now the question becomes, was this panel actually curved, or is this just evidence of a fisheye lens? What in the hell is this weird ring? Yeah, that ring just above the text. Many people in the comment section of my last video were asking, what in the hell is that weird ring? I have no idea what that is. I just wanted to point it out. Here's a quick zoom in. Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. Here's something funny I didn't notice until after I made my last video. You can watch the Earth's curve change. Huh, did you see it right there? Pay close attention, here it comes. So you can see the Earth's curve totally bulge out. Watch for it. See, it's very slight, the Earth's curve, and then it bulges out and becomes very prominent. So at that point, you gotta ask, what just made the Earth's curve completely change? And here's another example of the Earth's curvature changing. You can see the arc of the curve bulge upward. Funny enough, that panel also bulges upward as well. And when I speed up the footage, it becomes even more noticeable. Watch this. Blip, 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 blip.